Most people over 60 are taking the wrong brain supplements, not because they're not trying, but because the supplement industry has been feeding them marketing dressed up as science. Today, we're going to fix that. I've gone through the latest peer-reviewed studies, including a 2025 review of 54 separate research papers on cognitive decline, and pulled out the 5 supplements that actually have the strongest scientific backing for protecting your brain after 60. And number 3 on this list? Most doctors don't even bring it up. But the research on it is some of the most compelling we've seen in years. Stay with me. Here's something that might surprise you. A major review, published in a peer-reviewed medical journal, looked at the 9 most commonly purchased brain supplements, the ones you see advertised everywhere, and found that the scientific evidence behind most of them simply did not match the claims on the label. That's not a fringe opinion. That's researchers at accredited institutions reviewing the actual clinical data. So if you've ever stood in a pharmacy aisle, feeling completely overwhelmed, wondering which of these things actually works, that confusion is not your fault. The marketing is deliberately confusing. Here's the good news. There is solid research. There are supplements with high-quality clinical trial evidence behind them. You just need to know which ones and why they work differently in a brain that's over 60. Because here's the key insight that most supplement content misses entirely. The brain of a 65-year-old is not just an older version of a 30-year-old brain. It has different vulnerabilities, different deficiencies, different mechanisms of decline. What works for a 28-year-old biohacker optimizing focus is not necessarily what protects a 65-year-old from the kind of cognitive erosion that leads to memory loss, slower processing, and eventually dementia. So today we're going to cover 5 supplements specifically chosen for what the science says about aging brains. Not general cognition, not brain fog, aging brains. Let's get into it. Number 1. And I want to lead with this one because it has the strongest evidence base of anything on this list by a wide margin. Omega-3 fatty acids. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I've heard about fish oil for years. That's nothing new. And you're right, it's not new. But here's what is new. A comprehensive systematic review that specifically evaluated the quality of evidence for supplements and cognitive decline gave omega-3 fatty acids a high-quality evidence rating, one of only 2 supplements to receive that designation. That matters. Most supplements don't even come close to that bar. Here's why this works specifically for older brains. Your brain is roughly 60% fat, and the most critical of those fats, the ones that make up the membranes of your neurons and affect how signals travel between brain cells, are called DHA and EPA, both found in omega-3s. As you age, 2 things happen. 1. Your body becomes less efficient at converting plant-based omega-3s into DHA. 2. Chronic low-grade inflammation, what scientists call inflammaging, starts to damage those neuron membranes. Omega-3s fight both problems at once. Clinical trials have shown that regular omega-3 supplementation correlates with improvements in memory, reduction in memory task errors, better attention, and better executive function. The dose that consistently shows up in the research? Around 1 to 2 grams per day of combined EPA and DHA. Not the total oil weight, the actual EPA and DHA content on the label. Are you already taking omega-3s? Drop a comment below. I'm curious how many of you are on this one and whether you've noticed a difference. Number 2, and this one has a specific mechanism that I want to explain, because once you understand it, you'll never forget it. B vitamins, specifically B6, B9, which is folate, and B12. Here's the mechanism. As you age, your body accumulates something called homocysteine in the blood. High homocysteine levels are directly linked to faster cognitive decline, brain atrophy, meaning your brain literally shrinks faster, and a significantly increased risk of Alzheimer's. B vitamins are the primary regulators of homocysteine in your body. They break it down, keep it in check. Multiple systematic reviews have given B vitamins a high-quality evidence rating for cognitive protection in aging adults, the same level as omega-3s. But here's the part that matters for anyone watching this over 60. B12 absorption drops dramatically with age. Your stomach produces less of the acid needed to extract B12 from food. A significant percentage of older adults are walking around with B12 deficiency, and they don't know it, because the symptoms look exactly like normal aging: fatigue, memory lapses, slower thinking. The research suggests that B vitamins may delay and help prevent the risk of cognitive decline, particularly in people who already have elevated homocysteine. If that's you, this supplement could be doing more work than any other on this list. Worth noting, look for the methylated forms on the label: methylcobalamin for B12 and methylfolate for B9. These are better absorbed, especially as you age. Okay, number 3, and this is the one I promised you earlier. The one that most doctors don't bring up, but the research is genuinely exciting. Magnesium L-Threonate. You might know that magnesium is important for sleep, for muscle function, for hundreds of biochemical reactions in the body. But what you might not know is that most forms of magnesium, the kind in standard supplements, cannot cross the blood-brain barrier effectively. Magnesium L-Threonate is different. It was specifically developed by researchers at MIT to solve exactly this problem. It crosses the blood-brain barrier. It raises magnesium levels directly inside the brain. And here's why that matters. Magnesium plays a critical role in synaptic plasticity. That's the brain's ability to form and strengthen connections between neurons. It's the literal physical mechanism of learning and memory. Studies on magnesium L-Threonate have shown improvements in both short-term and long-term memory in aging models. And some trials in older adults have shown improvements in cognitive performance that exceeded what researchers expected. This one is not cheap compared to basic supplements. But if you're going to invest in one less commonly known compound on this list, the blood-brain barrier mechanism makes this one worth serious consideration. Number 4. Curcumin. And before you say I've heard turmeric is good for you, I need to tell you why most people taking curcumin are wasting their money. Standard curcumin, the compound found in turmeric, is notoriously hard for your body to absorb. Studies using plain curcumin powder show almost none of it makes it into your bloodstream. You eat it, and it passes right through. This is actually why earlier research on curcumin was inconsistent. Different formulations, wildly different results. Here's where it gets interesting. Newer formulations, specifically curcumin with piperine, that's black pepper extract, or phospholipid complexed curcumin like Longvita or Mariva, dramatically increase absorption. We're talking 20 to 2,000 times more bioavailable, depending on the formulation. And when curcumin actually gets into the blood and brain, a study from UCLA showed improvements in memory and mood in older adults taking a high-absorption curcumin formulation over 18 months. The researchers also found significant reductions in the brain plaques and tangles associated with Alzheimer's disease. The 2025 review of supplements and cognitive decline specifically cited curcumin at 800 milligrams per day as one of the regimens showing positive effects in human trials. Curcumin also works as a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant, addressing two of the core mechanisms of age-related cognitive decline simultaneously. Have you tried turmeric or curcumin before? Did you know about the bioavailability issue? Let me know below. This is one of those things that genuinely changes how you shop. Number 5. Vitamin E. And I want to connect this one to something bigger. A concept that ties together why all 5 of these supplements matter. As you age, your brain accumulates what scientists call oxidative stress. Think of it like a slow internal rust. Free radicals damaging cells, membranes, and DNA faster than your body can repair them. This oxidative damage is one of the primary drivers of neurodegeneration. It's not the only cause of cognitive decline, but it's one of the most consistent mechanisms across different types of brain aging. Vitamin E is one of the most potent fat-soluble antioxidants in human biology. And here's the specific mechanism that makes it particularly relevant for brain health. The brain cell membranes are rich in polyunsaturated fats, the same type that are most vulnerable to oxidative damage. Vitamin E specifically protects lipid membranes from a process called lipid peroxidation. It essentially forms a protective shield around the fatty structures that your neurons depend on. Multiple systematic reviews note that higher levels of vitamin E are associated with lower risk of cognitive decline and dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. The caveat here is important, and I'm going to be straight with you because that's what this channel is about. The research on vitamin E is more nuanced than the first 3 supplements on this list. The strongest evidence is for people who already have lower vitamin E levels, and deficiency is actually more common in older adults than most people realize, particularly in those with lower fat diets. The research also suggests that mixed tocopherols, not just the isolated alpha-tocopherol form sold in most cheap supplements, may be more effective. So as always, the form matters. So let's bring all 5 together, because there's a pattern here worth naming. Omega-3 fatty acids, protecting neuron membranes and fighting inflammaging. B vitamins, controlling homocysteine and supporting neurotransmitter production. Magnesium L-Threonate, the only form of magnesium that actually raises levels inside the brain. Curcumin, anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective, but only if you get a bioavailable form. Vitamin E, guarding against the oxidative damage that accelerates brain aging. The theme running through all 5 of these is this. Your brain after 60 is fighting specific battles: inflammation, oxidative damage, structural deterioration of neuron membranes, declining absorption of key nutrients. The supplements that actually move the needle are the ones that target those specific battles, with clinical evidence in aging populations, not just general wellness claims. Now, and I want to be clear about this because it matters, these supplements work best as part of a broader approach. The research consistently shows that physical exercise has the single strongest association with cognitive outcomes of anything studied. Diet patterns, especially Mediterranean-style eating, also have strong backing. Supplements are not a substitute for that. They're a complement to it. And before starting any new supplement regimen, especially if you're on medications, check with your doctor. Not because supplements are inherently dangerous, most of these are well tolerated, but because some, like vitamin E at high doses, can interact with blood thinners, and magnesium can interact with certain antibiotics. Be smart about it. Now here's what I want to ask you. Which of these 5 surprised you the most? For me, the Magnesium L-Threonate blood-brain barrier story is still one of the most underreported findings in this space. But I want to know what landed for you. Drop it in the comments. I read them, and your questions actually shape what I cover next. If this video was useful to you, if it felt like actual information rather than someone trying to sell you something, then this channel is going to keep delivering that. Every video we make starts with the peer-reviewed research, not manufacturer claims, not influencer partnerships, the studies. Hit subscribe if that's the kind of content you want more of, and hit the notification bell, because the next video in this series is going to cover something that might be even more important than supplements. The 3 lifestyle factors that research consistently shows have a bigger impact on brain aging than any pill you could take. And one of them is free, takes less than 20 minutes a day, and most people over 60 are not doing it. That video is coming soon. I'll see you there.